Hi, I'm Kara. I'm the studio coordinator at Strange Earth Studio, where we offer pottery, stained glass, and crafting classes for students 14 and up. I'm about to prep for a Sgraffito mug class that's upcoming this weekend, so come along with me and see how we make the mugs for the students to come in and carve for our Sgraffito mug class. It starts with wedging. Here I'm wedging up about 1.5 pounds of clay for each mug. I throw these mugs a little bit larger and a little thicker than maybe your average mug size and thickness because I want the students to have plenty of surface area to create their design. And also, because we're carving, we like to leave a little bit of extra thickness so that no one carves through their mug. Here I'm starting to throw one of the mugs. For this project, for this like pre-made pottery part that we make for the students, I'm using a clay called Sharp Tooth from a local manufacturer called Mammoth Clay. And this clay is good for this project because it has like a bright white finish after it's fired, so it contrasts really well with the black underglaze that we apply to the mug that the students then carve their design into. So you can really see like the white of the clay coming through their carved design. And also this is a grog-free clay, meaning it doesn't have any like rough, raspy pieces to it. So it's really nice and smooth to carve through, which makes it easy for the students to apply their design without like any hiccups, because it's kind of like drawing. So you don't want to draw on a rough, jagged surface. So this clay is nice and smooth and provides a great surface for carving. Another thing that I do to prep these mugs is I kind of do like a fake trimming. So I throw the mug, sort of just a nice tall cylinder, but then when I get it kind of close to the size and shape that I want, I'll take a tool and just trim a little bit from the bottom at an angle, like in towards the bottom of the mug, and then sort of use that angle to shape and sort of round out the bottom. So it's not a very like highly shaped mug, but it's just kind of like a nice rounded bottom and then straight sides. And this is how I can kind of achieve that look without having to do a lot of trimming. Because when you're making a lot of something for one of these kind of like pre-made pottery pieces for a class, you don't want to have to fuss around with a lot of trimming. So I basically just carve out the bottom, round it out, and then smooth it and shape it a little bit with a rib. And it's pretty much going to be good to go. So I'm just smoothing the lip a little bit here so it's nice and round, running the rib across it one more time so that the surface, again, it's important that the surface is smooth for this Sgraffito class. So I'm just smoothing it out really well. And then I think that's going to be about it. This one is done, so I'm moving it out of the way and going to be getting ready to do handles next. Just drying a little extra water out of that one. And next we'll get ready to make the handles. For handles, I like to wedge. It starts with like a golf ball size piece of clay, but I like to, it starts from a larger wedged piece of clay that I then pull the smaller pieces off of, but I like to even just wedge those little pieces on their own just a little bit, because with a class where there is a pre-made pottery piece and the students are going to come in and decorate it or design it, you just don't want there to be any like failures with the piece. So I feel like wedging the handle, just the piece that I make the handle out of, just a little bit, is just going to prevent any warping, cracking, or the handle pulling away from the side of the mug. So that's why I do that part. Then I just sort of squeeze it in my hand to shape it into a carrot shape, and now I'm rolling it on the surface of the table to smooth it out and even it out to be ready to pull. And I'm just letting it kind of go with the natural curve of the clay there. Next I'm gonna pull. So I just squeeze the top, the thicker part of that carrot shape, I just squeeze my thumb and index finger into the top. And then with my other hand, I dip the handle into the water, and now I'm just pulling the handle. So just using my fingers to kind of slide down that handle and stretch and pull without creating too much friction. It's really important that the handle slides in your hands if you're making handles. And again, we just want like a general mug shape, so I'm just doing kind of like a sort of a standard handle shape here. And I will leave it like this to dry for an hour or two before applying it to the side of the mug. My handles are ready. Now I'm going to apply the handle to the mug. I've already fitted the handle to the side of the mug. So now I'm just adding a little bit of water to the areas where I scored and slipped. Or, well, this is my slip. The water is my slip. But adding a little water to the surface areas where the handle's going to attach to the mug. And now I'm just getting it in place and doing a little press wiggle where you press the handle into the mug and then just do the tiniest little wiggles just to rub those two scored surfaces together. And now I'm just doing like a little bit of refining on it, just kind of making sure that the attachments are secure, making sure that the edges are kind of pressed down, really well attached, and also looking nice and refined. And you can see how it looks there. The last step is to apply the black underglaze that the students will be carving through to create their design. I'm using this spray-on underglaze product, which is really nice. You can see I'm wearing my mug, even though, or I'm wearing not my mug, my mask, even though the spray is going away from me, like I have my back face to the wind. But I could still feel it getting on my face a little bit without the mask on. So I put my mask on. It's causing me to scowl. And this product is really nice. I love this spray-on underglaze. However, it is a little bit of a convenience product just because you lose a lot of it. Like the wind, the air takes a lot of it goes on the ground. So it's great, but you lose a little bit of product with it. But here's what the mugs look like at leather hard, and this is how they stay until the students come to their class so that the surface is still carvable. And here are just a few more examples of some finished Sgraffito mug projects. Thanks for watching.